How often do you get to see a white sky? In my awakening experience, I imagine looking up at a cloud like this one. Interesting synchronicity, 432 there. Anyway, 27 there as well. But I imagine looking up at clouds like this in the Florida Everglades and then experience myself looking down from the same layer of clouds. So you can call it an out-of-body experience, if you will. And thank you for the background noise not coming on. But as soon as I was thinking and realized that I'm seeing without eyes and experiencing without a brain, I wasn't in my body. I was catapulted back down to my body, which was down there, and saw through the illusion of separation and experienced what one would call being awake. And that started my journey. We'll talk about the hero's journey and things of that nature because it's going to be more public now, but it's all been talked about before. At any rate, I'm just sharing a white sky because it's not very often that you see a whole white sky, right? Like the entire thing. So imagine the Trueman Show is me turning the camera in on the matrix and filming it from the inside. So this is kind of a representation of a whiteout experience, as I've heard it being called. But today is going to be an interesting day because we're going to connect some things. So just was coming out here to hang with the birds and listen and notice the sky and just connected all of those things. I just wanted to share that with you guys. It's not often again that you see a white sky. But the story now is going to be a connection. So going back, once I saw through the illusion of separation, and there was work internally that was done to get me towards that point. So it wasn't just like a shock to the system. I've been changing myself and evolving and practicing what I preach and things of that nature, all of that stuff that led up to that moment. Just like all the work is leading up to this moment. But going back then, that's when I started the public telling of just information and things of that nature. And Victor Bang, which stands for victory over noise, that's when that started, because there's a lot of noise. But as you can clear through the noise, you can see that the illusion is separation. You know, just from a basic standpoint, man thinks they're separate from nature and wants to conquer nature and thinks nature is something that is being used to fuel an imaginary thing such as profit and money and things of that nature. We're taking something real to fuel something imaginary to satisfy materialistic stuff, egoic stuff, things that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. But at any rate, that illusion of separation is what's propagated a lot by this system, this matrix that we live in. So to awake or to awaken is to see through that illusion. And I believe that we see through that as kids. We understand before we take on an ego and believe we're a separate thing. We understand, or we just experience being part of the whole. And it takes work to deprogram yourself in this reality to reconnect to that part of you that's already there, that was there the whole time. The thing that I talk about from a spiritual standpoint, I'm not adding anything to anybody. This is about removing what you're not to reveal what's left. So that's the spiritual journey to me, to see what's already in front of you, to see what's in the mirror, to self-actualize, to be able to see and understand and know what that reflection in the mirror is. And humanity is expecting the reflection to change. The reflection changes when we do. This is an internal thing. So this manifestation of what we're calling reality, what we're calling external to us, is a reflection of our internal state, our internal dysfunction and disconnection, and our internal dissonance, if you will. So when we correct it internally, and only you have the access to those knobs, then your external reality changes. It has to, right? That's the way this thing works from my understanding. And I believe I'm at the cutting edge of evolution, as we all are. But to connect to that cutting edge from a higher perspective. So again, it's all about reconnecting to the part of you that already knows this, is already here. You don't have to add anything to yourself. So it's like awakening, or the spiritual journey is channeling your own higher self, that part of you that's already there, that already knows, that's already connected to this oneness that exists. Whether you believe in it or not, the things that we are all come from the same source, and are all just manifestations of one energy that cannot be created nor destroyed. Well, they say that, but the Big Bang was obviously creation, right? But they say it was already there, but we won't get into that scientifically here. At any rate, there's a lot going on. I just wanted to share this white sky as we're turning this reality inside out. There's a lot of healing that's going to go on here. There's a lot of work that needs to go on here. And that'll be our new economy. That'll be our new toil that we do to fix these generational curses that have been going on, to help the planet heal as we help ourselves heal. And the new currency, or the only currency, I wouldn't say new, it's been there, it's time. What you spend your time on. That's important. What you spend your time on. The one thing that you can spend and you're not going to get back, at least in this flow of time and this experience that we have now. Even though there's a part of you that's outside of time and space, we're experiencing time and space. So that time and space has a flow, and that flow, you don't go upstream. You can jump to different realities where the flow started upstream, but once you get into the river, it flows. And you can get out of the river and go to another point in the river, but again, once you're in the river, it flows. Now, you can manipulate that flow and slow it down and get to the banks and things of that nature, but yeah, you're still in that flow. All right, that's all I wanted to say now, and I don't know if you guys are seeing this on your end, but again, it's not often you get to see a white sky, so. Oh, and one last thing. We're on a water planet. Don't forget that they say life started from the water, but this is a water planet. Over 80% they say of the ocean is still unexplored. So look at all of the variety of life that exists in the ocean, and many that we don't know. And we're part of that life that's multidimensional, because the ocean is a whole dimension in itself. Imagine another dimension where these consciousness stepped out of the water onto land. But this is just a lighter medium, less dense medium. We'll talk about density and dimensions at another point, not to make this one too long. But imagine these birds are just swimming in a lighter ocean, like stingrays swim in the ocean. These birds are swimming in a lighter ocean. We're breathing oxygen. The fish are breathing oxygen. This is just a less dense medium. So there's a whole lot that we can look at metaphorically and talk through. But a lot of this you can find out yourself and intuit yourself if you can get over the noise externally and really start going within, observing yourself. Peace, y'all.